Hello everyone and welcome back to TeamSport karting in Reading for part 2 of this race against Dwayne and Peter. So in part 1, if you remember, it was actually Dwayne that was the quickest, and in fact we're starting in the order that we finished. So Dwayne's in the 28 at the front, very distinctive white helmet on Dwayne there. I'm second back because I was second in the first sector, and then Peter was left straggling, or at least I shouldn't say left straggling because he was only... well, it was less than a tenth by me, actually. We were both about 6/10 off Dwayne. So, between me and Peter, it should certainly be very interesting. But, of course, now that we've got used to the track, there is a chance that we could catch up to Dwayne this session. The first session, we used kind of like a sighter session, just to get used to the track. Now, this is the session that counts. This is the session where we're going to set the quickest laps. And this is the session that will count towards the final order. So you can see we've already gone out, we're already under green flag conditions. And also something I'm going to introduce this video is a live timing option, which will be in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. So as we cross the line for the first time, we will be able to see who sets the initial quickest time. Here comes Dwayne. So Dwayne taking quite a... oh my word! Well, Dwayne took a very tight line through turn 1. I took a less tight line, and I've actually hit the wall there, and it's Peter that goes quickest out of the first 3 laps. If you're wondering why there's question marks next to Dwayne's name, that's because I don't actually know any of his laps except his quickest. So you'll only be able to see his lap at the end. Sadly, that is the case, but I suppose it's good that you can see the actual position that he is, because the timing sheets that I were given showed the positions that he was in at various different points, but it didn't show his actual lap. Talking of laps, I've now gone to the top there. You see, my name's Joshua. I'm at the top of the timing sheet with a 31.226. Now that's not quicker than we did in the first session. So initially we're just warming up the tyres and things. We're not going for absolutely blistering laps just yet. In the first session we were sort of setting around the 30.6s and around that kind of timing bracket, and that is not where we're at just yet. But again, I've improved on my lap, I think, as we come round there. Peter hasn't improved on his lap since the very first, so Peter's got to get a wriggle on soon. I suppose he's just, as I said, using these first few laps to get some heat in the tyres and get used to the lap. And if you're wondering why I went so wide at the final corner on my first sighter lap, I think it might have been for that exact reason, because I just hadn't got enough heat in the tyres yet. But you can see, it looks like I have now, because I've got right up to the back of Dwayne, and in fact I'm trying to get some... oh, he's letting me through, okay. Looks like Dwayne wants to run behind us for some reason, but whatever. Peter has now just become the first car into the 30-second bracket in this second session at TeamSport. So he's done a 30.9, and that puts him in the lead for now. So Peter takes the lead, and here comes me. So Dwayne's now let both of us through there, and oh, that's why. You just saw him pulling into the pits there, and it looks like he has some kind of problem with that kart, or he's not happy with something or other, and that's why he let both of us through, because he knew he wouldn't be out front for much longer, and I suppose he just didn't want to have anyone behind him when he was pitting, just in case he slowed down with us in his path, and that would not be good, of course. And of course, I didn't know that he pulled into the pit. In fact, this time as I was coming around, I was so concentrated that I didn't even realise he was in. And in fact, oh, well, I briefly set the fastest lap. I briefly set the fastest lap of the session there, but it looks like Peter's bettered it. As you see Dwayne returning from the pits, it looks like he's in a different car. We'll have to check that as he comes round. So I believe he was in the 28 just now. We'll see what kart he's in at the moment. He might have had a kart change. He might have just had another problem seen to or something like that. There's me and there's Peter. You'll notice the contrast in lines between me and Peter as we come through the final corner. Mine's obviously just worked because I have gone quickest with a 30.3, and there's Dwayne still getting used to the kart. So Dwayne just weaving about. He's not losing control or anything. I've heard some viewers asking me why the karts weave like that and why we can't control them. No, we're not losing control. It's just that generates heat in the tyres from the friction generated when the weaving takes place. And I've again improved my best lap, and I'm now well over half a second quicker than Peter. So my lap definitely beating his at the moment, and Peter's going to have to get a wriggle on soon. Otherwise, he's going to be left in the dust. And Dwayne as well. Of course, Dwayne's pit stop has put him far behind. I don't exactly know what his lap was around that point, but I can only guess it was something like a 31. And in fact, he's now dropping back into the clutches of me and Peter. So I expect, let us both through again. We'll have to see that. As in, this session was actually quite a while ago, so I can't remember the exact details. But I can't remember being cooped up behind Dwayne for too long, so I expect he'll let us through. But whatever. So yeah, that pit stop has cost him a lot of time, and even now, if he has got the pedal down, he's lost a lot of time to set laps. And in fact, I have got past him there. I don't know whether he let me through or not, but surely he should be trying to set quick laps soon. I expect he's starting about now. Yeah, you can see he's caught right back up to the tail of me through turn 1 there. And to be honest, I don't know why he let me get through so easily, because he's now running in my dirty air as Peter improves his lap to a 30.6. So he's now running in my dirty air, and of course, if I'm slower around a corner than him, he's going to have to back up a bit to avoid me, and as a result, that could seriously affect his time. As I am the first person into the 29 bracket, and Dwayne goes faster than Peter as well. So Oh, and Peter, in fact, improves his lap as well, but it's not good enough. So Peter improved his lap. In fact, all three of us improved our lap that time round. So that was a very good lap for all three of us. But and look at that. I mean, if Dwayne's second there, all three of us must be separated by about 0.2 of a second. That's incredible, really. We're getting very close here. And you can see just the speed that we're building up as we come around the final corner here. It really is a brilliant corner. It's certainly my favourite corner on the track. And in fact, if you go there in reality, and if you stand right at the end of the corner watching the session, you can see that some of the karts that come around the corner they get right up close to the barrier, and the speed that they build is absolutely awe-inspiring at times. And it is a corner which you can take various different lines through. You can see Peter going for quite a wide double apex one. I think the double apex one is definitely the way to go, but whether that's tight as Dwayne's doing it, or wide as Peter's doing it, or in the middle as I'm doing it, I don't know. Well, actually, Dwayne's just gone fastest, so obviously his approach is working for him so far. So drama then, as Dwayne goes fastest, and there's not really that much time left in the session. I suppose we still have about 10 minutes left, so we've got about a third done, and I think I just improved my lap there. Yeah, I did. It's not... Oh, and now Peter is into the 29s, so I improved my lap to a 29.906. He's gone to a 29.979, so it's really barely anything to choose between us there, less than 1/10 of a second, and I don't expect that Dwayne is far off into the distance either with his lap, because you can see actually Dwayne's been dropping behind me a bit. So I think that, well, Dwayne does have a quicker lap overall. Oh, not anymore. Look at that. 29.6 from me. And that is first place for me so far. 0.3 ahead of Peter. I don't know how many tenths ahead of Dwayne, but I've gone quickest. Anyway, but I expect that my average lap time is quicker than Dwayne, and that's why I'm pulling away. So, yeah, that is good for me so far. Of course, it's not consistency that wins you this, like it would be in a real motor race, of course, because after all, this is fastest lap that wins, not first place across the line. So consistency isn't really key in this. It's more just put in one flyer and hope it's the best, I suppose. And as a result, you don't really need to be blistering on all your laps. You just need to put in some quick ones, which is why Dwayne's pit stop was not disastrous. It was bad, but it wasn't disastrous. And yeah, it shouldn't cost him the session, I don't think. He's running second so far, and I think he definitely has the potential to go quicker. Well, let's see if he does. So Dwayne's quite an experienced racer, actually. Apparently he's quite a regular at this track. He's been many times before, and apparently he's even participated in a few championships here. And you can tell by his race suit that he's different to the ordinary racer, and I expect he got that by being by being a member and participating in race events at this track. So apparently he actually won one of the championships here, and got a track day at Brands Hatch as a result. But not proving that at the moment, because Peter's gone faster than him. Yeah, Peter's gone faster than him. So drama again. Dwayne not going as quickly as we thought he would before this session. I mean, he dominated so convincingly in the first session that I suppose we thought that he'd dominate so convincingly in the second session as well. But look at this. He's actually dropped behind both of us now. And it looks like it's going to be a two-horse battle between me and Peter, unless Dwayne can pick up the pace. He does look like he's caught me a bit in the last few laps. But yeah, surprising. Very surprising. I was expecting Dwayne to certainly be ahead by this point, but yeah, he hasn't exactly been that way. So as we come down through the final corner this time, I think that was a good line from me actually. It wasn't a quickest lap, but it looked like a good line. And from Peter likewise there, didn't quite use all of the track on the exit. Oh, and he's gone quickest. Yeah, Peter has gone quickest with that lap, so less than 1/10 of a second ahead of me, but he's got into the 29.5s. And that is a very quick lap there from Peter. So, with limited time remaining in the session, I estimate about 5 minutes left. Peter goes quickest, and I don't know what I'll be able to... Where have I gone? Oh, and I'm slow. I'm slow out of the final corner. I've moved over to the right-hand side of the circuit. Peter gets by. Dwayne got by earlier. And that is drama for me. And I'll tell you what happened there. Basically, when I got into the cut for the first time, I put on my helmet balaclava, but obviously I didn't put it on right because it slipped over my eyes, and the reason I was slow there was because I was trying to get it out of my eyes while still driving the car, and I wasn't successful that time around, and in fact that would become a reoccurring thing, because you'll see for the rest of the session I'll be struggling with helmet bandana issue, no, balaclava, why do I keep saying whatever, balaclava issues, and that is absolutely disastrous for me, because it means that I will not be able to go quicker in this session. So it looks like it's just between Peter and Dwayne now, with me struggling and circulating with one hand on the wheel and one hand in my helmet. And Peter goes fastest again. He set another fastest lap. He's into the 29.4s now. And that is just over 1/10 of a second faster than my lap. No, not quite. Just less than oh, I don't know. It's quicker than my lap. Yeah, it's just over 1/10 of a second quicker than my lap. I don't know. My brain's being derpy today. Now, look at Dwayne circulating. I don't think he's actually going much quicker than in the first session. If you remember, in the first session he was in the 29.9s. I don't think he's gone much quicker than that. And that is very surprising, because after all, Dwayne is a very experienced driver. He's a very quick driver. And to be honest, I don't think either me nor Peter actually believed when we got out to the cuts at the end of the session that Dwayne had given this his all. And I don't exactly see the reason that would be. I don't know why that is. I hope he wasn't just going easy on us because we're younger than him. I don't expect he would have done, but yeah, interesting. He just isn't as quick, I suppose. Like, I don't understand that really. And there you see me struggling again. I'm going ridiculously slowly down into the hairpin compared to my quickest lap, and that is hugely disappointing. Let's see if Dwayne goes quicker with that lap. No, and in fact the yellows have come out, and that was not a problem for me. That indeed is the checkered flag. So the checkered flag is about to come out. The yellows were just to neutralise the race before the checkered flag came out, and that is the end of the session. So it is Peter that wins it, me in second, and Dwayne very surprisingly in third. There you see me returning to the pit lane, and there you see Dwayne's lap. So it was a 29.8, and that's over 2/10 of a second slower than even me. So whatever happened to Dwayne there, I have no idea really, and it's really quite surprising. And you can see me trying to fiddle with my helmet balaclava even then, as I'm stopped in the pits. Here comes Peter, and after a brilliant session for Peter, he's about 1/10 up on me, And here you see the final result. So let's see how high up he actually was. So there it is. It's 29.495, which was quickest of the week. I was second, and also second of the week, and it was 0.114 behind, so really close. And in fact, the top 3 were quite close, because 0.3 of a second behind, which was Dwayne's lap, is really not bad. Anyway, that's all I can fit in for this video, so I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!